Hi there, Stan the Annuity Man live from Las Vegas, Nevada, which is where our main office is located. Yes, we do have an office in Florida. We have a marketing office in Denver. But welcome, everybody. Get those questions ready, and then we'll take them one at a time. And then this thing is over once the question's in. So that's fine. It could go long, it could go short. Last one was like over an hour, and I'll go as long as you guys want to ask questions. So it's all good. Let's talk about a couple things. If I cough today, I really apologize. I'm just getting over round 4 of COVID. I'm very obsessive, compulsive, and thorough. I've gotten every variant and looking forward to the 5th one coming over from overseas. So no, I'm doing well, but I have been through the ringer here, so I might cough a little bit. My apologies. The other thing I think you need to understand with the annuity industry right now is the word capacity. Now, I've talked about that a while about, when the Fed does something, it's not linear. Like, well, Chairman Powell raised rates, so annuity guarantees have to go up. No, they don't. And we've seen that, and what we're seeing in the annuity industry is some companies are getting in so much money they can't even process the paperwork. And if you're one of my clients and we're going through that with you, you're kind of probably in that frustration time period because we're yelling at them every day. They're doing the best they can. We're doing the best we can. And actually, we're probably, if not the biggest sellers of fixed annuities on the planet. There's 6, 7 different types of fixed annuities. And I have huge staff that does paperwork. We're a week out. If you want to book an appointment for an application, obviously you got to go through me, but I mean, we're a week out on that. And talk about booking an appointment with me, just to give kind of a Taylor Swift correlation. Anyone knows who Taylor Swift is. She plays guitar and country pop singer and really popular, but she started selling tickets, opened it up, and sold out immediately. I'm not Taylor Swift. I do have guitars in the background that way, yeah. And those are Gibson guitars, Flying V's, by the way. But what's happened with my schedule, if you've tried to book a call with me, January is completely booked. February looks like it's booking out. And I apologize, but I'm doing the best I can. I do 26 calls a day. They start at 8 in the morning. They end at 9 at night. And there's 30-minute calls. So there's no breaks in between. I know you say, Stan, that's insane, but that's what we're trying to do to get to everybody. So if you go to my site at theannuityman.com and do book a call and you don't see a lot of days there, it's not that I'm, on the boat. We're totally booked. So you might want to shoot me an email and maybe I can call you in between calls, or if I have a break or if someone cancels. And that email is stan@theannuityman.com. My apologies, but I'm only one person. We can only do 26 calls. I can only do 26 calls a day. And I've been doing 26 calls a day since probably October. So it's insane. It's good though. And I do want to talk to you, but we're running full steam. I'm hiring people as fast as we can in this Las Vegas office, which is the main hub where all the paperwork is processed. But the other thing before we get to the questions is, I'm very proud of what we build here because we only sell contractual guarantees, and the whole business models we tell the truth, and so I don't have to remember anything. That's what my grandfather always said. But I'm going to do some things this year with a company that are pro-consumer and that are going to upend the industry and really be proactive. They call it blue water, or the pioneers take all the arrows. But the industry, a lot of people are saying, well, why would you change something that's working so well? And I'm always trying to make the process, you being able to shop and get information easier as the consumer. So that's the driving force. And I've hired some of the smartest people in the business community, not the annuity industry, the business community, to create a lot of new things. We'll have a new website soon. You'll just one day go to the website you've always gone to, and it's like, wow, that's different. But I think you'll like it. And the application process and all that, we're certainly trying to streamline just to keep up with the volume of our clients and the demand by people for contractual guarantees. So with that, go to my site, theannuityman.com, and you can run quotes. We have our proprietary calculators. Obviously, about my videos. I have a YouTube channel. I have a Fun with Annuities podcast that comes out every other Tuesday with some of the best guests on the planet. You know, I do a Shooting It Straight series and a Q&A Friday series videos as well. A lot of people like the Shooting It Straight stuff because it's kind of like this. It's just me raw, you know, but I'm never scripted, as you probably already know. So let's start with the questions. I'm going to take a sip of water and then we're rolling. COVID. First question is from Teresa. Would you recommend an A- insurance company for a 5, 7, or 10-year annuity? The answer is yes, without hesitation. Remember, when we are buying MIGAs, which is the annuity industry's version of a CD, we're dating the company, not marrying the company. I was just quoted in a Barron's article. If you get Barron's, you'll see that quote. They just put it out today, I think, but it was about annuities, and they interviewed me, and we were talking about MIGAs because we're probably the top seller of those. And yeah, I mean, if we're buying lifetime income, I'm taking a look at from the standpoint of it's going to be for your life as long as you're breathing. For a 5, 7, and 10, we're only going to be there for 5, 7, or 10, and A- companies have the capabilities of backing up that claim for that duration. Now, understand, if I believe and looked at the financials and the analysis and did my analysis on their financials and solvency ratios and all that stuff, and say, hey, I don't think they can back up the claim, you better believe I'm going to tell you that. Okay. I've been doing this a long time. Blessed, and we've done well. Yes, we get paid a commission. Commissions are built in, but do I need commission? No. I do this because I want annuities to be sold properly. I want people actually to just buy annuities. You know, people just don't wake up in the morning and buy annuities. Yeah, they do. If you work with us, I mean, you found out we're the least. There is no high pressure. We don't have time to chase you. If you want to work with us, we certainly want that, but it's on your terms and your time frame. Next question. Jack says, I was born in 1952. When do I need to take my first RMD? According to the Secure Act 2.0, which, by the way, I'm gonna do some videos on that because there have been some changes. I think it's right now at 73. I think eventually it'll go to 75 is when the IRS taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, you need to take your RMDs. Just as a disclaimer, if you don't mind, everyone out there, please no tax questions. I know I look like a CPA and a tax lawyer, and I always kid my daughter I was pre-law a long time ago, which is not true, but I like saying it. I cannot legally give tax advice. The closest I can get is this type of question, which is an RMD question. But I think they moved it to 73. The other big thing on the 2.0, Secure Act 2.0, QLACs, which used to have all these rules and limitations and 25% of your total IRA assets or the lesser of. No, it's now just up to 200,000, period. And which I think is fantastic because QLACs are a lifetime income product that's used with IRA assets and IRA qualified assets. And you can attach your spouse for joint lifetime income. It's a good way to hedge inflation with having income start in the future. But, you know, it used to be just convoluted. It started at 125, then 135, then went to 145. And finally, someone said, actually, I'll tell you who did it. It's Michael Finca and his group. He's been on my podcast, a very smart guy, you know, ivory tower guy, you know, smoking jacket type guy, just very smart. They pushed to get it up to 200,000 without any rules. And now you can do that. So, you know, go to my site, run a QLAC quote if you want to. Next question. In a MIGA, can you take out your principal after the contract expires? Let me answer that in 2 ways. The answer is yes. Let's just say you bought a 3-year MIGA, and at the end of the 3 years, you know, we're going to be in touch with you and say, hey, 60 days prior to the date of it maturing, say, hey, what do you want to do? You know, you want us to send the money back, or do you want to roll it to another one? If it's in an IRA, then the question would be, do you want where it came from? Let's just say it's a Fidelity IRA. Do you want to go back to the Fidelity IRA? That would be a non-taxable event transfer. So the answer is yes, you're going to get all your money back with interest. The second part of the question is different. I have to address it differently. Or do you need to wait to 59 and a half? That MIGAs are treated from a tax standpoint like an IRA. If you're, say, 55 and you buy a 5-year MIGA and you take out money pre 59 and a half and it's in a non-IRA account, there's a 10% IRS penalty on what you take out. So that's the reason I always tell people, you know, be careful, you know, 50 and above, let's talk about annuities, and maybe you don't need them even then, you're so young, but 50 and below, it's got to be a really different, interesting, unique circumstance for me to say yes, buy an annuity of any type, just because you're so young in the insurance company's eyes. So if you're young out there, if you're in your 50s, it's okay to buy a MIGA, any type of annuity, but just understand that if you take out money from a deferred annuity, like indexed annuity, variable annuity, MIGA, there's a 10% IRS penalty. You can circumvent that, not to get in the weeds here, but I got to go there because I am the annuity man. If you buy an immediate annuity for lifetime income, you circumvent those IRS penalties. But then the question is, why are you doing that when you're so young? Because remember, lifetime income products are the pricing is primarily based on your life expectancy at the time you take the payment. All right. So that's the way that works. Next question. I've sent in 2 applications. Yeah, definitely we'll work on it. Do me a favor, Jeff, just shoot me an email, stan@theannuityman.com. Obviously, this is we're swamped question, but I'll personally take care of it. Next question. Are there age recommendations when a client should consider an annuity or not consider annuity? Yeah, I just kind of covered that. I think that 50 and above, we can talk. 50 and below, please don't call me. I mean, really, it's that simple. Now, yes, do I have, of the thousands and thousands of clients that I have, are there a handful of people that are young that have them? Yeah, but there's such weird circumstances. But the rule is 50 above, let's talk. 50 and below, wait till you're 50. Wait till you're older. I got a call the other day from a guy like 45 years old and had been pitched everything, indexed annuities thing. I'm like, what are you doing? No, don't buy anything. Nice guy from Louisiana. And I think he appreciated my honesty. Obviously, I'm going to shoot it straight. I'm not going to sell something just to sell something. And he did not know about the 10% penalty taking money out pre 59 and a half. The salespeople that were trying to get him locally did not tell him that. Next question. What is your current view of QLACs? My view of QLACs since they were introduced in 2014, and I wrote the first book on QLACs ever, and it's still available. By the way, just on a side note, I've been shipping these books hard copy for years and years and years. That's getting ready to end in about a month. So if you want a hard copy book, you better sign up for them now, because from here on in, we're not going to be able to do it because we're getting thousands and thousands of requests every month to send them. We've been sending them, but it's just not financially feasible for us to send 3,000 book packages every single month. But QLACs, my current view, QLACs are fantastic. QLACs are the reason that the IRS and the Department of the Treasury even put them out, and that's who designed them, by the way, and introduced them, is Social Security was never supposed to be the primary lifetime income component of your life. It's just supposed to be a supplement. I know that the majority of the people use it as primary. I would say most of you out there are using it as a supplement, but QLACs are a supplement to that additional income floor that you need when you look at retirement. Now, a lot of people are under the false assumption that with a QLAC, you have to wait to turn it on until age 85. That's not true. That's when the IRS makes you turn it on, but you could turn it on at 75 or 77 or 80, whatever. I like it because you can add a spouse using your IRA for joint lifetime income, meaning that when your Learjet hits the mountain, you die, your spouse gets that income continuation uninterrupted and unchanged for the rest of their life. So, I've been the biggest proponent of QLAC since they came out. And I've said this then, I'll say this now. If all annuities commissions are built into the product, okay, and there's a reason that, some products are shown at the Bad Chicken Dinner seminars and some products are not. But if all the commissions on all different types of annuities were the same, QLACs would probably be the number one selling product on the planet, because everybody has an IRA pretty much. And I actually think if you have an IRA, you should be quoting a QLAC to look at those assets as part of your income floor. Next question. Retirement income cap, the real deal. That's I think that was either a blog or a video, whatever. The income gap is funded, all is good, but what about subsequent years? Let's talk about inflation. I did a I did a video that made a lot of people happy, like made a lot of people mad. It was called Stop Complaining About Inflation. The original title was Stop Bitching About Inflation. My PR people stepped in and said, don't do that. But I'm going to do it. Stop bitching about inflation. Okay. The way to solve for inflation with annuities is when you need whatever that, and inflation is personal to everyone. The media doesn't treat it like that, but I'm talking to you. Let's just say you had 2 years from now, you need an additional $250 in income. We can either buy an immediate annuity, reverse engineering for that amount, or buy a MIGA and peel off the interest to achieve it. But there's not an annuity on the planet that addresses inflation, even though every sales pitch you hear locally in your area will tell you they have it. They don't. Annuity companies don't give anything away, whether it's an indexed annuity that allegedly, supposedly, hypothetically increases, or whether it's a COLA attached to an immediate annuity, cost of living adjustment. The annuity companies don't give that away. They just simply lower drastically the initial payment to make up for it. Typically, it's a 7 to 9 year break-even point. My opinion is you already have the best inflation annuity on the planet. It's called Social Security. And if you need additional money to fill in an income gap, then let's go do it. But I'm begging most of you out there to please stop obsessing about inflation. I'll give you a story. I had a guy, multiple millions of dollars investable, and he was losing sleep over inflation. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. There's 60% of the adults out there in the country that have less than $400 in their checking account. Those are the people that got to stress about inflation. But if you're out there with hundreds of thousands of dollars, you need to get real. And if you call me and we get on the phone and you start going down that rabbit hole and you've told me how much money you have and it's significant, I'm going to be brutal with you. I'm going to say, hey, come on now. Seriously, it's going to be okay. And, like for instance, for me, my daughters are out of the house. We don't buy milk or drive them to dance anymore. So we don't have milk and egg and gas prices affecting us. Stop watching television. This is clickbait stuff for the news people. Next. What is the percentage one would pay for investing? I'm assuming you're talking about commissions. If not, put another question in. But let's talk about commissions. All commissions are built in. You don't see it as paid from the annuity company reserves. But just think of it like this. The more simple the product, the lower the commission. The shorter the surrender charge, the lower the commission. The more complex the product, the higher the commission. The more whistles and bells and sounds too good to be true nonsense, the higher the commission. So if it's got if you're looking at a 3-year MIGA versus a 10-year indexed annuity, that would be like a 1% on the MIGA commission or less than that, compared to an indexed annuity at 6, 7, 8, 9% commission. So, like I said, unfortunately, the commission structuring for the agents drives a lot of recommendations out there. They're doing square peg into round hole selling, too good to be true type selling, looking for stupid people. But the point is, commissions are built in. The more simplistic the product, the lower the commission. And in my opinion, the more pro-consumer product. Next question. SPIA options event. SPIA, single premium immediate annuity, by the way. You can structure, this is an interesting question because you can structure immediate annuities any way you want to structure them. For instance, you can have it be life only, meaning when your Learjet hits the money, hits the mountain, money goes poof. You could have life with cash refund, meaning that when your Learjet hits the mountain, whatever's left in the account goes to the list of beneficiaries of the policy lump sum. You could have period certain, like a life with 20, meaning it's going to pay as long as you're breathing. But if you die in year 13, there's 7 more years of payments. Answering question number 1 depends on how we structure it. The insurance company does not have to keep a penny if you don't want them to, even though they would be contractually on the hook to pay for life, or if it's joint life, for as long as one of you is breathing. So the question is, how much more of what's the differential in, like, say, life only, which would be the highest, usually the highest payment, because you're shouldering some of the risk because when you die, money goes poof, versus a life with cash refund, whereas it's still a lifetime income stream, but 100% of that initial premium is never going to be kept by not 1 penny by the annuity company. Your family's going to get it if you die early. We just have to quote both. And on our site on the calculators, the SPIA calculator that you can use and quote, you'll see both. Sometimes it's pretty close. If it's pretty close contractually, then obviously you choose life with cash refund. If you hate your kids and family, then do life only. Or if you have a lot of life insurance, et cetera, and you want to maximize things. So it's a conversation we need to have. There's no perfect answer. I love agents out there. Well, you need to do life in 20. That's what you need to do. That's garbage. That's nonsense. I mean, it comes down to the conversation that we have and what you're trying to achieve, and the kind of what I call backstop. Remember Little League, you had the backstop, baseball. What kind of backstop you want to put on that policy contractually. Just remember, there's over 40 ways to at least to structure an immediate annuity. That's the customization part of a commoditized product, which is very interesting. Next question. Okay, if I buy an immediate annuity now and want to start it next year, do you get interest on that? No, but let me tell you what they do. Annuity companies, there's no trackable interest rates for the SPIAs, QLACs, and deferred income annuities, DIAs. Those are all kind of the same structure. It's just when you're going to turn on the income stream. Now, I will say this: the longer you allow the annuity company to hold on the money, they enhance the payment. But there's no trackable interest rate. In other words, you put $100,000 in and you wait till a year, you're not going to see $102,000 or $104,000 if you go to the annuity company site to track your SPIA right before you turn it on. But understand that they know they have to make it worth your while to wait. So the company is going to enhance that payment, i.e. increase in English, the longer you allow them to hold on to it. The question is, do you want to do that? Or do you just want to wait until the time you want to pull the trigger and lock in that lifetime income guarantee? Let me stop here and just remind people that interest rates play a secondary pricing role with lifetime income. It's primarily based on your life expectancy. Okay? Don't want to beat that up too much, but I will if you keep asking me. Go. Next question. I do not understand the details of buying a joint annuity with qualified money, how it would affect if you die. Let's just say you bought a QLAC with your IRA money, okay, or an immediate annuity with the IRA money. You could do that as well. And your joint life with your spouse, okay, using your IRA money, and you die. The spouse is going to get the lifetime income stream. Let's just say that you're alive when you turn it on, and you're getting joint lifetime income, and then you die, and the income's going to continue uninterrupted and unchanged. So QLACs allow you, and immediate annuities inside of an IRA allow you to attach your spouse for joint lifetime income so that there's a continuation of that income guarantee when you pass away. I mean, it's really that basic. Next. Principal required in a traditional IRA for 20 years certain for a married couple to cover the IRS deduction. I mean, again, Theo, this is a blanket. This is an answer looking for a blanket question. This is a question look for a blanket answer. There's no blanket answers. I mean, this would come down to your ages. This would come down to RMD tables. I can't just carte blanche answer this. You might have already run the numbers. We do not allow people at this point to run period certain quotes, because I need to speak with you about that before you pull that trigger and make sure you understand the limitations of that quote. In the future, we're having that discussion now, but it's a rabbit hole that you can go down and make a really bad mistake if you don't know how this works. But the bottom line is you can do a period certain within an IRA, but we have to just make sure that you're dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's, and getting your CPA involved to make sure that everything you're doing is compliant, so that the money, you're addressing the IRS and the RMDs. Next question. Can a MIGA rate be locked into the time of application? Most carriers, yes. Not all. Most. Paperwork delays and everything, and we have run into that. And we'll take the blame, but a lot of it's the carriers. I'm envisioning like their receiving department, their mailroom with like 9,000 FedEx packages a day, or if it's electronic, just like 9,000 inboxes to the electronic apps. But yes, most of the time, most carriers, and I wish I could say all, but most will lock in the rate once they have a policy number and the application is in their hands, most. And we have run into some situations where we had to go to bat and fight. This is a weird time in the annuity industry. And I told them once we hit over 5% on the guarantees for MIGAs, and that happened October, the first part of October, it's been game on ever since. It's been chaos with the carriers and the there's so much money flowing in. So to say, just bottom line, we've been doing this a long time. We've been to the rodeo. We're fighting like heck. But at the end of the day, the carriers do control the rules, but most of them are very honorable and will allow you to lock it in as we're getting the money transferred from wherever. So next question. Where do you think fixed annuity rates will go? If I knew that, I wouldn't be on this I wouldn't be on this live event. I'd be on my Learjet trading interest rate futures. But since you asked, Joanne, here's the way I look at it. And I'm sure I'm wrong. The government, as you all know, has $31 trillion in debt that we know of. Every time they raise rates, they're raising the servicing of that debt. Okay, that's just common sense. Now, common sense has not really applied recently, and depending on how they are, the Fed is looking at that inflation, etc. I don't know what's going to happen here. There might be a couple more raises. Who knows? I think we're getting close to the top, and you can, by just watching news and CNBC and Fox Business and reading the papers and all that stuff, you can tell that the Fed is looking for some glimmer of light so that they can start lowering rates. What we're seeing a lot of people do is lock in MIGA rates, the fixed rate annuity rates, longer term than normal because they're under the assumption that rates will be less than 5 a few years down from now. I don't know that answer, but I think the Fed is motivated to lower rates more than they are to raise rates. But they've surprised me this past year on how much they have raised rates. So we'll see what Powell does. But once again, and I want to be very, very clear, annuity companies, MIGA companies, life insurance companies that issue MIGAs glance at the Fed. It's not a linear thing, okay? If they're bringing in enough money, they will lower their guarantees. We saw that at the last Fed rate raise. We had a bunch of carriers lower their guarantees before they knew, before he even announced raising it, and they knew he was going to raise it. Why? Because of capacity issues, okay? So if they're getting in enough money and they're having a hard time processing all that, those applications coming in, there's no incentive for them to raise rates. Now, to combat that, we represent pretty much every carrier out there. So there's always some carrier that's kind of breaking out and raising rates. We had some this week that all of a sudden broke out and raised rates on the 3 and the 5 year. So there's always some company that's trying to raise rates, but as soon as they hit whatever bogey they have in place that they want to, that rate they want to hit, then they'll lower the guarantee. So please stop fixating on the Fed. All right. Next. What's the best day to buy an annuity? No good answer to that, just bad sales pitches. Because it all comes down to 2 questions with me. The question instead of that question is, what do you want the money to contractually do? And when do you want those contractual guarantees to start? From there, I can determine A, if you need an annuity, and B, what annuity type will provide the highest contractual guarantee. Why annuities have such a bad reputation? It's because the schmucks out there selling it improperly. And no offense to the wives of the schmucks or the husbands of the schmuckettes. But every industry in the sales world has bad people. Car sales, real estate sales, brokerage, where I came from, and annuities. But I think the problem in the annuity industry is you've had a lot of advertisements. I hate annuities and all this stuff, which is a joke. Because if you want to go with that, then go cancel your Social Security payments because that's the best annuity on the planet. But the industry's earned its bad reputation. I've told the grand poobahs, number one, I should be running the annuity industry, and we all know that. But annuities are the only product on the planet that provide a lifetime income stream. Why we don't pound that into the table, I don't know. But no, most of the products that are out there that are more profitable to the life insurance company issuing the annuities are these complex products. you're thinking about using part of your IRA to buy an annuity, again, the two questions: what do you want the money to contractually do, and when do you want the contractual guarantees to start? I've got an easy to remember acronym PIL. P stands for principal protection, I stands for income for life, the L stands for legacy, and the other L stands for long-term care. If you don't need to solve for principal protection, income for life, legacy, or long-term care, you don't need an annuity. And that flies in the face of these growth hypothetical theoreticals. If you'd owned it 10 years ago, upfront bonus nonsense crap that's being pitched out there. Please never buy any type of annuity for market growth. Please don't. You're limited. And when you're doing market growth, in my opinion, having worked for Morgan Stanley World Trade II Center, and I've done that, you don't need limitations. End of story. Next. Can a QLAC have a beneficiary if both you and your wife die? Yes, you can set it up, say, joint life with cash refund. And so if you and your wife die in a fiery Learjet crash into the mountain, then whatever's left in that account would go lump sum to the listed beneficiary of that policy. Yes. Next. Peter, we're working on it, buddy. Give me a call on Monday. Comparing, and you don't have to put that question back, but we're having a couple clients on here, and if in producer, you can put them up if you want. You don't have to. We are pushing like heck these companies to get these policies through. Period. We're doing the best we can, but they're overwhelmed, and we're having to stay on hold with them for 2 hours at a time to get an answer, etc. So that's the answer to that question. 2 seconds. 1, 2 seconds. All right, next question: comparing deferred income annuity versus indexed annuity with an income rider. Let's talk about that. The way to look at that goes back to 2 questions. What do you want the money to contractually do? When do you want those contractual guarantees to start? In this case, it's down the road. Okay. Excuse me. The only 2 ways, there's 3 ways to do it. Actually, there's 4. Let's go over the 4. Deferred income annuity, which is an immediate annuity that you defer. An income rider attached to an indexed annuity. You can buy a MIGA for the duration and then transfer that to an immediate annuity, or you can wait and then buy an immediate annuity. Those are the 4 types. The difference here with deferred income annuities and indexed annuities is deferred income annuities, okay, are irrevocable and not flexible. Whereas an income rider with an index annuity have some flexibility. But at the end of the day, we're going to quote both of them. We're going to look at who has the highest contractual guarantee. Right now, at the time of this taping, income riders seem to be higher. That doesn't mean they're better. But we're going to look at both and see which one you like the best. Next. I'm assuming that's vacations. I think that's it. What should I do if I want to use an annuity for yearly vacations? Start in 5 years, last for 10 years, about $7,000 a year. What you're really describing is a period certain annuity, meaning that I'm going to buy it now, and then in 5 years, I'm going to get $7,000 a year for 10 years. We can quote that. Just send me an email at stan@theannuityman.com. Since the income rider adds it doesn't add large fees, Mark. It adds about, well, unless you want to consider 1% large. Does that negate the potential upside the FIA offers? Absolutely. Draw a line down the middle of a blank sheet of paper visually. Left-hand side is the index accumulation side, the index option side. Right-hand side is the income rider side. 2 different calculations. The income rider side is the monopoly money, and then the fees from that income rider come out of the accumulation. So in essence, every single year you start the indexed annuity income, that index option side at -1 or -1.5, whatever the income rider is. Just remember this: indexed annuities are not market products. Okay, they were designed to compete with CD returns. I don't care what any agent shows you. I don't care. You're not going to get those returns. Period. And remember, the annuity companies can change the way the index option strategies are calculated. And this is real key right here. 3 words: at their discretion. So if you have a 1-year call option on an index annuity and you buy a 10-year surrender charge, product, you're actually buying a 1-year guarantee with a 10-year surrender charge. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying do not think you're going to get market returns with index annuities. Do not. It's a mistake. I know that's the sales pitch. Just remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it is every single time. Next. Is the free withdrawal period with a MIGA, what does that stand for? Why are some MIGAs not rated? Well, there's only 1 or 2 that aren't rated that are on my site, and I won't let you buy them. Right now, we just show all carriers. I mean, these are commodity products. The free withdrawal period for a MIGA means that some allow you to take out just the interest penalty-free. Some allow you to take out 5% penalty-free annually. Some allow you to take out 10% penalty-free annually. You can go to my site at theannuityman.com and pull up the live MIGA feed. In the middle columns show you the liquidity features. Some have no liquidity during the duration. Some have liquidity during the duration. That's part of the conversation. I'll ask you is, do you plan on taking interest out, or do you want the ability to if needed? And if that's the question, and you say yes, then we're going to choose those that provide that. But that's what free withdrawal means, is you can take out X amount, whether it's interest only, 5% or 10% penalty free. Typically, those are the choices within specific MIGAs. Not all of them have it. Next question. This is good. Is there a specific coefficient or factor that you're aware of as to how the Fed's rate hikes affect annuity yields? Again, stop being an interest rate analyst with annuities. Life insurance companies price their products differently. Got to remember, life insurance companies have life insurance. They know when you're going to die, it's a profitable product. They have lifetime income stream products. They know when you're going to die, it's a profitable product. They have legacy bond portfolios, that Jimmy Carter bonds, Barack Obama bonds, and bonds that aren't callable, that are getting high yields, etc. Then there's capacity issues where they're looking at how much money they need to bring in. And if they hit that capacity, they're lower the guarantees. And then that final thing that they look at is the Fed. So if you're looking for that type of analysis or a type of study, if it's out there, the person that did it completely wasted their time. There is no such thing. And like I said, it's not a linear thing. When Chairman Powell raises rates, doesn't mean that your favorite annuity company is going to raise rates either, because they have capacity issues and they're looking at different things, and maybe they're not even in that space. Now, what we have seen, because it's a competitive and commoditized world, is since October, since the Fed's been raising, we have seen all annuity types get a little bit of a bump in the guarantees. But remember, with lifetime income, the primary pricing mechanism is your life expectancy or expectancies at the time you take the payment. Interest rates play I'm going to say it slowly, secondary role. So stop focusing on it. Next. Curious how lifetime income annuities are calculated into your net worth calculations. I don't know. That's a good question. I guess you could look at the total that you put in your net worth and say this is part of it. I don't know. I think it's up to you and your CPA and your family and your ego on how you want to put that in there. To me, when you buy an immediate annuity or a lifetime income annuity, you're stacking income. So I think it's a different thought. I think you're looking at, okay, Social Security brings in this, my dividend stocks bring in this, my rental properties bring in this, and now my annuities bring in this, and all combined is this. So my opinion. Next. How do you know if you're using part of your traditional IRA for annuity as a smart choice? Annuity guarantees are the same regardless of what type of account you have. Non-IRA, bank account, brokerage account, IRA, Roth IRA. The difference is the taxation of the money when you take it out, or if you take it out. Okay. So I love stupid advisors that say never put an annuity inside of an IRA. Could be the dumbest statement of all time, and they need to stop talking. You can, when you're buying an annuity contractual guarantee inside of an IRA, you're just buying the contractual guarantee, period. And the majority of annuities that are purchased with IRA assets. Hello. I mean, it's just a fact. Are you going to get double tax deferral? No, you're not. But you're buying, like for instance, if you bought a multi-year guarantee annuity inside of an IRA, that's fine. You're buying the coupon. You're buying the guarantee. Okay. Next. Did you say it is not a good time? No, I did not say that. I'm sorry. Once again, you're buying contractual guarantees. If you want to buy contractual guarantees in your IRA, that's fine. There's nothing, let me repeat, there's nothing wrong with using annuities in your IRA. And any advisor or agent that says there is, or master of the universe, or person on CNBC, then I need to introduce them to the Qualified Longevity Annuity Contract, QLAC, that was introduced by the IRS and the Treasury for use solely in an IRA. So I love people who say, never put an annuity inside of an IRA. You mean a QLAC? You mean Qualified Longevity Annuity Contract? So that alone will tell you that it is acceptable and suitable and appropriate for money in an IRA to purchase an annuity type, period. Next. Which annuity has the least moving parts and lowest commission fees? An immediate annuity. If you want lifetime income, and a single premium immediate annuity has the lowest commission. There's no fees. The commission's built in and you never see it. For accumulation, the lowest commission product is a MIGA, multi-year guarantee annuity, as compared to variable or indexed annuities. Not even close. So, commissions range differently between carriers, et cetera. MIGA commissions can be anywhere from 1% to 2% on average. Immediate annuity commissions can be anywhere from 1% to 3% on average. And once again, paid out of the annuity company's reserves. It's a net transaction to you and it's one time. Next. Deal with return of premium and increase for inflation. Monthly amount. Okay. Ben's asking about a deferred income annuity that has a COLA because he wants the income to increase with inflation. And the annuity company loves that because they're just going to lower significantly the income amount to make up for that increase. Yes, it would start lower. If you die early, would that leave more money for the heirs? Yes, but I'm going to encourage everybody out there to void from your head right now annuities with inflation increases, because all you're doing is building a wing in your honor at the annuity company. They're lowering the guarantee, period. You're already on the best inflation annuity on the planet. I think in the next 5 years, there'll be really good, new, different inflation type annuities available, but they're not available now. In these companies, all they do, in most cases, what we've seen in the past is an immediate annuity with a COLA. They're going to lower that initial payment, say around 30%, to make up for that increase. So my comment to you is if you're doing a legacy strategy, then let's do a legacy strategy. If you're doing an income strategy, then let's do an income strategy. All right, next question. If you purchase a SPIA with a company, will the company provide a monthly annual statement reflecting the balance? Yes. Yeah, and you'll have online access to the account as well. Next question.
That's all the questions we have.
That's all the questions we have. I'll give a couple. If you want to put them up there right now, I'll give you 1 minute. And other than that, then I'm going to say something very riveting, and then we'll close this thing out. So huge attendance. I really appreciate it. So I guess that's the end of the questions. I want to thank everybody. You can give me a call. Best thing actually is to email me, stan@theannuityman.com. My apologies. My schedule is completely booked. I think there's 3 or 4 days in February that's open, nothing in January. So if you want to catch me, stan@theannuityman.com. Have a great weekend. See you next month.